I initially started my career as an extra. I used to be an extra in movies. Prop, where there was gobi, matar, aloo, like all the sabjiyan. I brought back the sabjiyan. I started putting sabjiyan at my father. My father brings back the tray, throws at me. I went back and I saw a dabba full of protein powder that I was drinking. I pulled back the dabba, threw it at my father. But I wanted it to be a shock so I could annoy my father, but it didn't really happen. But I really hope she gets a little jealous while watching the movie. Thank you very much for having me. हमारी फिल्म मैं ते बापू 22nd April को release हो रही है. This movie is about the father and the son relationship. I don't want to talk a lot about the movie because then that kills the purpose. लेकिन जो movie है वो it's a journey of a father and the son, how they are able to understand each other. A lot of times what happens, घर में परिवार में हम किसी के साथ बहुत साल तक रहते हैं लेकिन अपने दिल की बात नहीं किसी के साथ शेयर करते. एंड वो जो एक हिचकिचाहट होती है, वो जो एक पर्दा होता है, भले ही वो भाई भाई में हो, फादर सन में हो, मदर डॉटर में हो, वो हमेशा रहता है वहाँ पे. तो रिगार्डलेस ऑफ योर रिलेशनशिप, आप उन्हें कितना भी प्यार करते हो, लेकिन कई बार हम अपने दिल की बात नहीं उनसे करते. सो आई थिंक दैट्स द जर्नी ऑफ दिस फिल्म, दैट्स द सब टेक्स्ट ऑफ द फिल्म. And I feel that the message or the story or the emotion in this film is universal. So ये पंजाबी फिल्म है, लेकिन इसकी जो story है, जो narrative है, वो जो emotion है, वो बड़ा universal है. So I'm really looking forward. 22 April को फिल्म आ रही है, आप सब ज़रूर देखें. Sorry. वो डिफ़िकल्ट नहीं था क्योंकि माई फादर इज़ एन एक्टर. तो वो जब हम छोटे होते थे तो वो एक्ट भी करते थे, डायरेक्ट भी करते थे, तो हमने उन्हें देख के ही हम बड़े हुए हैं. तो आई न्यू दैट माई फादर कुड डू दिस, एंड सो कन्विंसिंग हिम वाज़न्ट अ प्रॉब्लम. इट वाज जस्ट ड्यूरिंग कोविड. आई वाज जस्ट वरीड कि शुड आई बी एक्सपोजिंग माई फादर टू द सेट्स फॉर अ मंथ. बट बिकॉज ही वॉज सो कॉन्फिडेंट, ही वॉज लाइक कुछ नहीं होगा. एंड उनका जो नेचर है वो बड़ा प्यारा है, तो जो भी उन्हें मिलता है वो उनको गले लगा के मिलते हैं, प्यार से मिलते हैं. कोविड में तो हम किसी को टच भी नहीं करते थे. तो आई वॉज अ लिटिल वरीड, बट वो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट थे, तो उनके कॉन्फिडेंस से हम सबको कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया. सो द शूट वेंट रियली वेल एंड देयर वाज नथिंग दैट आई कुड, इवन द सीन्स दैट आई पर्सनली वुडंट हैव डन विद माई डैड, और अगर मैं ये फिल्म डायरेक्ट कर रहा होता तो शायद मैं कुछ ना भी शूट करता. ही वॉज विलिंग टू डू एवरीथिंग, सो ही सरेंडर्ड टू द डायरेक्टर्स एंड ही डिड अ वेरी गुड जॉब, एंड आई एम रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू द मूवी. Sangeeta is an amazing artist. I think during sets, even the first day when I met Sangeeta, वो बिल्कुल what's the right word, वो मैं हिंदी में नहीं पता, ओपरा नहीं बिल्कुल भी फील किया. Like she was fun, she was talking to everybody. She's a very easy to work with artist, and she's very, she's pure at heart. She carries a very positive attitude. So it was fun working with Sangeeta, and we'd laugh, we'll talk, and even in some of the montages where we are eating, we are actually just having a normal conversation. And Sangeeta ma'am has been my father's colleague in university. Both my parents work in the university, and Sangeeta ma'am also worked in university. So they knew each other, and my father had done plays with her in the past. So they were also colleagues. So it was very easy between four of us to work, even though we didn't have a lot of scenes that we did together. But jitna bhi tha, bahut fun tha, people enjoyed, and it was a very good experience. It was fun. I initially started my career as an extra. I used to be an extra in movies. Then I started doing very small characters, small cameos. Then I became a director, and I did over 150 music videos. So during the shoot, even in Pehli Mulaqat, there's a scene where I'm on the phone and the camera, follows me, and मैं अपना phone छुपा लेता हूँ, and my father is on phone with his love interest, and वो मुझको देख के phone. That was the montage that I designed. I initially wanted the whole movie to be like that. There are two parallel love stories going on. But then again, I'm not the director of the film, so it wasn't my call. Lekin it was fun watching my father and do a romantic song. My mother was there, so it was a fun experience. My mom has been a theatre actor as well, and my mom has always been with my father doing plays and theatre. So it wasn't a shock for her, but I wanted it to be a shock so I could annoy my father, but it didn't really happen. But I really hope she gets a little jealous while watching the movie. There's this song, Akkad Bakkad, which wasn't really meant to be a song. So what happened was there's this scene where the father and son get into a physical fight. And it was basically just a symbolic shot where I was going to put atta on my father's face, and we were going to cut it to the next scene. So the DOP put wide angle lens. Right in the middle there's this partition, and there was 100 frames shot where I come in and I threw atta on my father. My father took the cue and he went back, and he came back with something and threw it back at me. And because I knew it's 100 frame, the camera is not going to read my lips, and it's a wide angle lens, I went running back and I was like, Dad, keep going. So I saw there was this prop where there was gobi, matar, aloo, like all the sabji, and I brought back the sabji and I started throwing sabji at my father. My father went back and our spot is sitting there, and there's a tray of eggs. My father brings back the tray, throws at me. I went back and I saw a dabba full of protein powder that I was drinking. I pulled back the dabba, threw it at my father. So the whole thing just kept going. And my father, I don't even remember all these things, and we just kept throwing shit at each other. And towards the end of the shot, I sat down and I saw a packet of chips because I threw everything that was next to the spot, like everything. And so I opened the packet and I started eating chips, and I offered it to my dad. And he started eating, I threw the chips and I continued, and the shot ended. And by the end of the shot, the whole set was a mess. It was dirty. My father was filled with atta and shit, and I don't know what he threw at me. I was stinking. So I took a shower, I came back, and we saw the scene. It was super funny. So I told my director that I want to keep this whole scene. He's like, well, we don't have a room for this because it won't be as exciting to have one scene with music for a minute. I was like, just take it to the editing table, put some beats on it, ramp the whole sequence, and give it back to me. So a month later, he sent me back and he put a reference music to it. And I saw it and I was like, Akkad Bakkad. Because what generally happens is, have you played Akkad Bakkad?
Yeah.
So Akkad Bakkad, it was just a random rhyme with no words. So I told my artist, my brother Laddi, and I was like, I want you to write a song, and it doesn't need to make any sense. Just rhyme that goes with the beat and goes with the drop. Because if you put lyrics behind it, and if you give a lyrical meaning to it, when people are watching the song, they'll start sort of visualizing what you're singing. I don't want people to visualize what you're singing. I just want them to focus on the shot. So we wrote this song, Akkad Bakkad, and we dubbed it. So that song wasn't planned. We didn't even think of that song in the movie. And it's one of the funniest sequences. And it's totally improv, and the music is amazing. The song is amazing, and I'm actually looking forward to that sequence in particular. The idea is what happens initially is that Laddi wants to get married, or Lalli wants to get married, and Lalli Lali's girlfriend's father says that if you want to get married, you have to come with us because we are moving to Canada. And he can't leave his father because he's son of a single father, and if he leaves his father, he'll be all by himself. So the servant of the house, who he calls Chacha, goes, "Why don't you find another mom? Your dad will get busy and you can go to Canada." And so he started, manipulating his father to get married. And what happens next, you'll figure out on this 22nd of April.